back to part 2. Today I'm going to watch episode 2 of Netflix's Shadow and Bone using the drinking game I talked about in my last video. The rules are in the description if you want to play along. And then after I watch episode 2, I will review the second book in the Shadow and Bone Trilogy, which is Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. Okay, this whole sequence of the Darkling using the cut for the first time in the series, oh my gosh, pure perfection. I feel like I should have said, like, take a shot when the cut gets used or something. It's so good. He rides in on the horse, the shadows are following him, beautiful. And I kind of want them to kiss, so I might take a shot.
You are Grisha. You are not alone.
Okay, that's definitely a shot. When he steps so freaking close to her. You are not alone. Cheers, Benbar. I don't know why I held it in my mouth so. What was I doing? Oh, that wasn't fun. Why am I drinking at 11 a.m. on a Sunday? Not even at brunch.
Why are you back?
Just by myself. Episode 2 did not have as many chances to drink, so I still have some drink left. I did take that terrible shot, but I'm gonna finish this drink. Okay, that was episode 2. I'm gonna go grab Siege and Storm, and we're gonna talk about it. The back of the books have this awesome soldier, summoner, saint. The first one, soldier, is highlighted. Now the summoner is highlighted because she knows she's the sun summoner. And the last one, saint, is highlighted. Okay, first of all, if you like the Darkling and Alina and think they should be a couple, you should read Siege and Storm. Because the Darkling put the amplifier on her neck and like connected each other in the first book, in this one they're like connected mentally or like spiritually, who knows. She has these, like, let's call it astral projections where she's like sleeping or like with Mal, literally like trying to make out with Mal, trying to have sexy time, and the Darkling appears and she's like, she pulls back obviously because the Darkling's there, and the Darkling is like whispering in her ear. He's like, I know you want me. So the Darkling's there in the back of her mind, but literally present as well. But Mal can't see him, so Mal's like, you don't want me. I'm just like, you're too different now. Which I understand why a lot of people were annoyed with Mal's character in the books. Like, I don't agree, but you're entitled to your opinion, and I could see where you get that opinion from. Because he's like dealing with the love of his life and childhood best friend, the one constant in his poor orphaned life, becoming someone new. Like, okay, that's a lot to deal with. He's trying to process that, okay? If this book has a theme, it's called processing. Alina is trying to process her guilt that she left those people in the fold to die with the Darkling. She like kind of thinks the Darkling is dead, but then she gets these astral projections of him and knows he's alive. So like she's guilty that like all these people died for nothing, right? Essentially she left them on the ship in the fold to die, and she didn't even defeat the Darkling. This guy called Stormhund, he's Nikolai. This like pirate privateer comes and like jumps on their ship. Wait, what even happens? His name is Sturmhond. So not Storm. Oh, this is so difficult. Okay, I completely forgot this part. Before they meet Sturmhond, Nikolai, they get captured by the Darkling. They make it to one of the other countries on the other side of the True Sea. They're chilling in the boarding house. They're kind of like passing as normal citizens, right? No one has recognized Alina. Then the Darkling comes and kidnaps Alina and Mal, and they go back onto the True Sea. Great, I love a nautical setting. But this time they're in captivity and slaves to the Darkling. Sturmhond, the privateer, comes and kidnaps Alina. We have a Genya reunion. Oh my God, Genya lets Alina go because she realizes she made the wrong choice with the Darkling in book 1, right? Remember that whole betrayal thing? So Genya allows her to go. Like basically she doesn't like, you know, capture her. I'm just remembering all parts of this book. So while they're on the ship with the Darkling, the reason Mal is not dead is because the Darkling wants Mal to find the second Morozovin amplifier. So remember the stag that Alina got the collar made out of? Turns out there's like a trio. Who would have thought in a YA fantasy that there'd be more amplifiers? So there's more, and the Darkling wants to use Mal's tracking abilities to find the second one, which, spoiler, is this like sea serpent type deal, right? So that's what they're doing, and then Sturmhond then kidnaps them. Then ultimately, Alina decides like we should still just go find this sea serpent because then I can have the power all to myself instead of like the Darkling using it through me or whatever. So then I can have enough power to defeat the Darkling, right? So they still go in search of this sea serpent thing, and they find it really quickly. Like maybe I was reading the book too fast, but I thought like that could have been a whole book by itself. Like they spent the whole book searching for the sea serpent and having adventures at sea. That would have been my ideal second book. Everyone in like Bookstagram and Book Talk and BookTube are obsessed with Nikolai, and I like, just from reading this book, okay, to be fair, I haven't read King of Scars, Rule of Wolves, I haven't read those yet. But like reading this book, when I'm first introduced to Nikolai, I don't see it. Like I definitely would be a bigger fan of him if they had spent more time on the true sea, just like having sea adventures with the privateer Sturmhond. So that's just my opinion. That like it was like kind of rushed. They find the second amplifier, the sea serpent thing. They go back on land, and turns out Sturmhond, the privateer, is actually Prince Nikolai Lantsov of the Rovkin King and Queen. He's the second son, and he's been at sea for a while. So when they get back, basically Nikolai is like, marry me for publicity to Alina, because I'm this great prince. Marry me because you're about to be really powerful, Grisha, and I could be king if I wanted to because my brother is a loser. Like, let's combine our powers. Okay, this is why I'm a Malina stan. Literally every other man that people like ship her with, all they want Alina for is power, to make their own selves more powerful, to use her natural talent for their own gain. Ew. Nikolai is just the same as the Darkling. Like, yeah, he has better intentions because he wants to make Ravka a better place. No, Mal just wants what's best for Alina. How can you not choose that man? Anyways, we also get introduced to some really great characters that I can't wait to meet if we get a season 2. Tolya and Tamar are like the coolest, badassiest, like Inej Gotha vibes in terms of like they're very religious, but also like can kill you. Literally. I just randomly opened this page and remembered Nikolai kisses her without her consent. Ew. For publicity. Ew. He literally like grabbed her out of the carriage and kissed her in front of all the people to spread some rumors. Ew. Jenya, my beautiful tailor, who is a diamond of human being, got slashed up by the Darkling and his little shadow soldiers because she let Alina go. So when Alina sees her again, she has like cuts all over her face. And it's really sad because that's like Jenya's identity to herself. Like, we know she's a good person because she let Alina go. But like to herself, all she was good for was her beauty. So it's really sad. But I love her journey. I can't wait for Ruin and Rising. So at the end of this book, how could I forget? She tries to kill the Darkling again by like taking all his power from him. So she's using the connection that they've been using the whole book to like flirt with each other. What are they doing in this astral plane? But anyway, she uses that same connection to like creep into him and like take his power from him. So because she like throughout the book she notices that using the shadow soldiers is like taking a lot out of him. So she's like, okay, if I can take his power, he'll like die. right? And she is prepared to keep doing this, like taking his power until she also dies, because it also takes a lot out of her to do this, like take his power from him. So she's like, but I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to die for the cause, for the people of Ravka. Of course, Toya and Tamar and Mal don't let her do that. They don't let her die, and so she lives. But she does weaken the Darkling a little bit. Her hair goes white. Cool. We love a costume change. She ends up with the apparat and like all the pilgrims who are obsessed with Sancta Alina. Yeah, so that's the end of the book. That's where it ends, which, sure. Yeah, it's like, it's definitely a second novel. I definitely preferred the first and third book over this one. Some quotes I wrote down from Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo, whom I love and adore, and I want to be like you when I grow up. Why am I like this? This is Mal saying this to Alina, when Alina's like, but I owe it to Ravka, I have to do this because I need to save the people. And Mal is like, you're my flag, you're my nation. He pledges no loyalty except to her. You're my flag, you're my nation, you're the standard I will carry into battle. When I read that, I was like, men in real life don't talk like that. Maybe because they weren't forced to be child soldiers, but still. Alina says this to Mal when we can't be together because you're a saint, basically. I'm pretty sure it's something like that. Anyways, Alina is like, I have loved you all my life, Mal. There is no end to our story. I have loved you all my life. Okay, cool. Everyone says that. Like every rom-com, girl next door, you know, that type of story. Totally. Get it. I have loved you all my life. Mal's like, but we can't be together because you're a saint and I'm just like this lowly tracker from Karamzin. Alina's like, there is no end to our story. There's no end to our story. Even if we can't be together, even if one of us or both of us dies, there's no end to our story. Because Leigh Bardugo, the bard, is that where her name comes from? Will tell our story, even if we're gone, even if we're not together. And scene, that's the end. I didn't write down any other quotes because I was obsessed with Mal and Alina.